Literally switching sides. Not like that. I'm switching sides. I'm switching sides. I'm going to join them. I can't take it anymore. I just can't take. I saw Jake Shields today. Dude, it's like, now I know how black people feel. Now I know how Thomas Sowell must feel to be the same species as George Floyd. I'm watching Jake Shields today with this backwards cap and his blown out fucking ears. And he's sitting there going, Jake Shields.
Why do you think the French gave us the Statue of Liberty? Why would they do that? It's like a Jewish thing.
Statue of Liberty. Pirates of the Caribbean, Jewish plot. Statue of Liberty, Jewish plot. Minecraft movie. Jack Black. You know Jack Black is Jewish? Okay, so what? Lava chicken? I mean, seriously? So I'm switching. I'm joining them. You know what? If they run everything, maybe they're onto something. If they're that good, maybe it's time to switch sides. If what you say is true, the Statue of Liberty, the Pirates of the Caribbean, the Dutch Republic, Jack Black, the Federal Reserve, if what you say is true, you know, maybe it's time to just, if you can't beat them, join. Who's going to beat them then? Well, our ragtag team of UFC fighters, female comedians, fake professional gamblers. Dude, if they're masters of the universe, if they have remote viewing and they control the storm on Saturn and they control global finance and all, who's going to beat them? Jake Shields and Dan Bilzerian, Dumb and Dumber, Tweedledee and Tweedledum? If that's what we're working with, dude, I'm signing up with the Empire. I'm going to be a fucking stormtrooper. So anyway, literally switching sides.
No one likes that guy. No, he's a grifter. He's a glowy. He's probably a product of the SPLC. Nobody likes him. I just thought it's really funny. And when the woke right is like gets in a circular firing squad, it's like, no, you suck. No, you suck. No, you suck. I think it's funny. I think it's good times to be had by all. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the following program. I am your host, Joe Nierman, Good Logic. It's true. I really am. Tonight, I need to update you about FISA. Changes at the DA9 that are arising because of FISA is true. It shouldn't be. None of this is good. I could be like one of these people who's coming out here telling you jolly good, feel-good stories. This is a story you need to know about that I haven't seen anyone talking about. I haven't seen anyone talking about this at all. And it's breaking down now. It's breaking down now. It's a big story that you need to know about, which was like, you know, the collision of terrible things all circumventing. I need to walk you through just how terrible this is. And that's related to FISA and the head of DNI and Bill Pulte and this new dude who you're not going to like. Trust me, you're not going to like him. You're not going to like him. Anyhow, also on the White House, on the National Mall, someone's been putting up 8647 and vandalizing the National Mall in like crop circles type of vandalism, which is, you got to give credit. You got to give credit. The crop circle vandalism is actually, it's original. There's an originality to it, but yeah, basically threatening President Trump. And finally, we got a big win out of Florida. Plus, tonight we got a goal, which I accidentally clicked the wrong number. And kudos to you for picking up on that. Where if we get 10 super chats instead of 15, I'm not going to change it because once I click it, in that case, we hit 4 in a row. And shots all around. See, here's the thing. Let me explain to you something. I need to just explain to you before we go further. Before we go any further, I need to explain one thing to you. Last night, I don't know why, I could not sleep. It wasn't the eye or anything like that. I just couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep. I ended up staying up through the night, into the morning, in the afternoon. And finally at 2:15 this afternoon, I fell asleep for 45 minutes. And that is all the sleep I've had in the last 2 days. I don't know why, but that's all the sleep I've had. So I'm like, I'm not really good on the whole 3-hour show tonight. I don't think I'm going to make it through a 3-hour show. I'm thinking by an hour and a half into the show, I'm going to be like, it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be pretty. I'm giving you that heads up now. So anyhow, so that's why I was like, I can't promise a third hour. Now, often on Thursday night, you'll see that I bring in this guy over here.
Hey, what's up? I know why you couldn't sleep. I could tell you if you want to know.
Tell me why.
Because you didn't do that story I sent you about how if you're MAGA in Chicago, they can kill your kid and don't do anything about it, even with a witness that sees the guy walk out of the room with a gun, and they won't charge him because you're MAGA and they just kill your kid.
Yeah, I'm unaware of that. Yeah.
I'm saying a story. It's heartbreaking.
You sent it to me like 10 minutes left of my show last
No, I actually sent it to you quite a bit before the end of the show.
You apprised me.
Cynic was supposed to tell you, and he didn't. He told you the wrong thing. I'm blaming Cynic.
It's like all of a sudden now I'm supposed to start like catching up on some whole complicated story that like
it's not complicated.
It seemed complicated. Okay.
It's not.
No, it seemed complicated at the time it seemed very, very complicated. So I'm like, I got 10 minutes here. I'm like 2 hours and 50 minutes in. And it's like, I got to start digesting this whole new story and breaking it down to my audience. I'm like, I don't know what kind of value I can add. If I'm not adding value, what the hell am I doing here? I'm not like some.
Be another channel ignoring the murder of MAGA.
Yeah, that's me. That's me. That's what I do. That's what I do. That's what I do. Anyway. I do want to get in and talk to you all about this situation here. Also, we had updates in Iran. Do you understand what's happening in Iran?
Not at all. I mean, one minute we're going to take the Karg Island. We're going to have all the oil. We're going to take it all. We're bombing them. And then 15 minutes later, nope, they're making a deal. And then 15 minutes after that, we're bombing them again. And then we're going to make a deal. And then they're shooting down our helicopters. And then we're making a deal. And then we're bombing them. And then they're bombing Kuwait and Bahrain and other places, and Jordan. Why do they have anything left to bomb anything with? Why is there anything left?
It's a lot of stop-start. There's a lot of stop-start. And it feels as if, like, peace deal's coming. No, it's not here.
I mean, I'm going to have to start wearing one of them neck braces, Joe. I might need a personal injury lawyer for all the whiplash I'm getting.
It's really not. It's not been good. It's not been good, and it hasn't been a good look. Frankly, I'm continually raving about Trump that the one thing he's exceptional in is foreign policy, and I think you can say that so far, just the way he's handled the wrap up of Iran is probably the worst example of Trump's foreign policy that we've ever seen. He's phenomenal in foreign policy, and then frankly, I don't really like what we've seen from him over the last month. Now, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes, which makes it much harder. But like at a certain point, like I sort of feel you almost feel as if he's not. It's almost like they're trying to make him look bad. Like he'll come out there and say, "We got a deal, and the next thing you know, there's no deal. There's no nothing, and they're saying we don't have a deal, and then the deal never happens. We're gonna hit you hard. We're gonna hit you hard. No, let's give an extension. Hit you hard. No, there's an extension. Say it's not something that it doesn't look good, and we're all frustrated, especially when we see all the stuff that's happening. I will tell you one reveal that he gave us yesterday. One reveal he gave us, which is actually, perhaps the biggest win that we've seen from Trump in Iran since he killed Khomeini. Perhaps the biggest win that we've had so far. And that is that he claims that he's had massive success behind the scenes in covertly moving millions of barrels of oil through the Strait of Hormuz without Iran even knowing about it. And
not if it was Iranian oil that we were stealing from them and selling without them knowing, that would have been big news. I'd have been like, well, that's good. Let's do that. Let's take their oil and sell it.
100%. 100%. And frankly, I'm very much a believer. The capitalist in me comes out when it comes to war. You know what I'm saying? Like the capitalist in me comes out where I'm like, look, you know, if we're going to be sitting here helping your country out, there should be some sort of compensation that's coming to us for that. Like, why are you and I paying a tax bill? And there should be profit that we're making on it. We're exposing our troops. They relying on our expertise. You know what you would have to pay to like get like protections from a country like America that we just give out freely, willy-nilly to the rest of the world, the rest of the Western world, all dependent on us for safety, security. To me, I'm like, this is stupid. Like, why are we just gifting this? And it's on your taxpayer dollar. And frankly, it's not even on your taxpayer dollar. It's on the devaluation of your dollar through our deficit. Even if you pay no taxes at all, even if you've never paid any taxes whatsoever, the fact that your dollar buys so much less today than it did a generation ago, 2 generations ago, it's arguably 1/10 what it was 2 generations ago. That's because of the deficits. Why do we have such a deficit? Because we are defending the rest of the world. So you basically have 1/10 the money you should have because we're busy protecting the rest of the world. Why aren't we getting paid for that? There should be compensation. Do you know what we could charge? We could be charging so much. Anyway, so I become very capitalistic when it comes to military. I mean, if you want to rely on us, pay us. Pay us. I mean, it's the American way, right? It's capitalism. All right, you want to rely on us? Pay us. But anyhow, for one reason or another, no presidential administration has seen fit to do it. If anyone would do it, you would think it would be Trump. But the one thing that he did do is he did move millions of barrels of oil, apparently out of concern, to try and help suppress the astronomical rise of the price of oil. And this is arguably, this is a pretty big win on his part.
I'm just announcing today for the first time, but we've been taking out millions of barrels of oil, millions of barrels. Every night we took out oil, but now I'm going to tell you because they just figured it out. So now that they figured it out, I can tell you. It was very hard for me. I wanted to say it so badly, but I didn't want to ruin it, but it was very hard. But millions of barrels of oil has come out. That's why it's at $85, $90 a barrel instead of $250. But we have the greatest military in the world, the toughest military in the world, just the best in every way. Nobody even close. There's no military that's even close. I rebuilt it during my first term. I'm using it now. When this conflict is over, Todd said, please go to conflict, right? As opposed to the word war. He didn't like the word war, but it's sort of a conflict. It's a military operation. When it's over, you will see oil drop to where it was before. We were getting gasoline. Just before it started, I was in Iowa, and we passed gas stations, $1.85 a gallon. And we'll be back at those levels very soon. Thank you very much, everybody.
So he's saying he got out millions of barrels of oil, and that's why oil prices have not surged the way they would have if he wasn't helping to export it. And I think that actually makes sense. A lot of people on the left, I'm sure, will be cynical of that. But the reality is the Strait of Hormuz is so thoroughly significant to the healthy circulation of oil throughout the globe that if you cut off that artery, it's like, you know, it's like you're basically closing down one of the 4 chambers of the heart. So the whole system gums up, and it really could have. Many people were predicting that the price of a barrel of oil would jump all the way up to, you know, $150, $175, $200, maybe even over $200 a barrel, and it never really got over $130, and now it's down at $85. I'm seeing gas prices locally starting to come down. They were close to like, you know, I saw $5.30 a couple of weeks ago, and now, by me locally here in New Jersey, it's hovering high 3, low 4. So that's a significant cut that we're starting to see. And I think that hopefully, And so that's a big coup for him. But I agree with you. I want to be taking their oil. You know, you cost us a lot of money by us having to come in here. The fee is that we're going to basically take that money back in oil. Bush promised that, never did it. Why is that? Why can't we get why is it that you and I are the ones who have to pay, whether it's through tax dollars or through the devaluation of our own money?
Nobody knows.
I think that they're afraid of being looked at as if they're profiteers, or they're afraid that it's, there's a lack of nobility in it. This is just, it's good fiscal sense. It's just, it's responsible. It's an America first.
Whatever happened to the victor goes the spoils.
Whatever happened to that? Now to the victor goes reparations. That's what goes to the victor now. We get to pay reparations to the people who we had to suppress because they were basically threatening the world. It doesn't make any sense. It's very, very aggravating. Maybe I'm alone here. I don't know. Maybe the rest of my chat is like, no, Joe, come on. That would basically turn us into a war nation. Newsflash. If that's your take, I got a newsflash for you. You're a step behind. You're a step behind. We're already there. But he is promising now, like my friend here, Jim, was saying, we're supposed to be going into Carg Island. There's all sorts of announcements going to Carg Island, right? You ever hear that before?
I'm still waiting for Power Plant and Bridge Day.
Yeah, Power Plant and Bridge Day.
Yeah, that was 2 months ago.
And Power Plant and Bridge Day it sound like trust the plan,
Yeah. The Kraken, release the Kraken.
Releasing the Kraken. Yeah, that's
we've been here before, and I'm going, whoa.
It's like apparently maybe it's the Kraken who's supposed to be taking down those power plants and bridges. I love Donald Trump, but if we don't have a deal, he's saying we might have a deal this weekend. I'm telling you right now, bomb him and leave. Just go. Just whatever. You take care. Hold on to Shter Hormuz, and just say the rest of this is on you, Israel. You want to fight them? Fight them. We're done here. We can't be there anymore. I'm done. I told you all by my birthday we got to be out. My birthday is 2 weeks from today. So, yeah, it's gotta end. It has to end. Anyhow, you're also waiting for the Kraken since. It's 2020. It was 2020 is when they were releasing the Kraken. But so that's the he says that we're about to have a peace deal. That's what he says. About to have a peace deal. But that's not really the story that I want to focus on. I really want to focus on this development with respect to the head of DNI. So you remember when Tulsi announced she was going to be stepping down, right?
She still should be there, though, if I'm not mistaken. I thought
she's supposed to be there. She said she's leaving June 30th.
Yeah.
So she's there for another 3 weeks or less. And the replacement that was named for her was Bill Pulte.
Mm-hmm.
He's from Mortgage and Financing or something like that.
Well, Pulte Builders is huge. It's a big corporate builder. They build all these giant subdivisions for McMansion type houses.
Yeah. Well, the House on Thursday defeated a last-ditch effort because there's another thing that's going on inside Congress, which Trump wants to get done. And this thing that he wants to get done is not something I really want him to succeed at. And maybe you're going to argue with me. Maybe you think I'm wrong on this.
No, I don't want them doing this either. I think you should get a fucking warrant.
Yeah. So in case you're unfamiliar with the FISA court, which was created after 2001 under the Department of Homeland Security, and when we had all these countermeasures that were put into place, now it's a generation ago, right? 2001 is 25 years. So that's a generation. So a generation ago, they decided, let's put all this in place temporarily for 5 years, kind of like a continuing resolution bills, to hold us over temporarily.
And like the income tax was temporary.
Yeah, like the income tax is temporary.
Yeah, just to pay for the debt from World War I, and then once that's over, it'll.
But so part of what was set up with that was something called the FISA court. The FISA court, which is basically designed to enable it's the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act.
Oh, I thought it stood for fuck it, spy on anyone.
So you're probably not the first one to come up with that. It's pretty good. So the authority to continue operating under Section 702, the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, continually has to be renewed because it's supposed to be for 5 years and it expires. And if it doesn't get renewed, you got to shut everything down. Now, presidents love this bill because it basically gives them a pretty much unfettered
access to spy. I mean, they lie, Joe. They say it's for foreign spies, but they don't need a warrant to spy on foreign spies. You can spy on anybody overseas. They're not U.S. citizens. They're not protected by the Constitution. So it's all just smoke and mirrors because they want to spy on them.
Sorry, no.
I thought you were telling me no because you're
no. Lady Ludwig is like mouthing to me. No, we're good. Yeah. So yeah, and you're right. Why would we need it? Frankly, we shouldn't need any freaking warrant to go after anyone who's not an American citizen. If you ask me, the whole thing's a scam. Because there's no reason that we should need any kind of warrant to go spying on anyone on an international stage. And frankly, I think the Supreme Court has already overstepped its bounds in saying that if you're a foreigner on our soil, that you have some sort of rights. I don't think you should have any rights. I've made that speech on this channel probably 100 times by now about how I'm sickened by the fact that SCOTUS actually gives any rights to people who are not American citizens. That's not what the whole point of the Bill of Rights is. I might go on a rant on it. I'm so angry about this topic. I am rife to go off on a rant of that at the drop of a hat any moment. And I'm this close right now to going over the top on it. But I don't want to lose focus on the main part of our story here, which is essentially that today, when we're nearing the end of the term for the last extension of FISA, and folks like Jim Satala from Jim Tells You, brilliant, insightful podcaster Jim Satala, and slightly less talented, far more handsome podcaster Joe Neerman, a.k.a. Good Logic, are coming out here to tell you that FISA is evil. And I don't care who's running it. We've seen it turned against MAGA. We've seen it turned against Republicans all the time. We saw how Joe Biden abused FISA to basically, we saw how they abused it to Trump when he was coming in, that they go to the FISA court and they say, oh, Russia's interfering, Russia's meddling. Let's start spying on all these Americans. And basically, they're allowed to give the court very, very limited information. And the FISA court is like, oh, okay, here's a warrant. And that satisfies our Fourth Amendment protection rights for unlawful searches and seizures. And basically, we don't have a Fourth Amendment right.
It's worse than that, though, in actuality, because I can understand, I could kind of steel man it a little bit and say, well, if it's a foreigner and they're talking to an American citizen, we don't want to have to get a full-blown warrant. We want to get that conversation, and technically we can't listen to the American citizen without the warrant. So we're going to go to the special court and say this, but that's not where it ends. It's then they can also spy on anybody that person talks to. And anybody that person talks to, because you get two hops.
It's insane.
It is.
It's insane. It's evil. It really is. It's basically you would never know if you're the person you're talking to, who's the first hop, would never know that the person that so you have no way of knowing you're talking to someone and that you're being surveilled right now. You might be the furthest thing in the world from foreign agent, but you happen to have a friend who spoke to someone who was being surveilled, and now you talk to them. So now, oh yeah, they can just start tapping you. It's insanity. This whole thing is sickening. It's disgusting. It's awful. It's evil. Now, whoever's in office wants that power because you have access to levers of power. So you basically are controlling the FBI, the CIA. You're controlling anyone who might have a DHS, anyone who might have an interest in getting a warrant to spy on people. Frankly, they could use it for the IRS. They could use it for anyone if they wanted to, and claim, oh, hey, we think that Cuba's meddling with us, China's meddling with us, Russia's meddling with us. Let me tell you something. There's 196 other countries out there that they can claim is meddling with us as a basis to get a FISA warrant. So their options are pretty much they can just take a blindfold a big map of the wall of the world on the wall and take out a dart. Boom! Oh my gosh, Thailand's spying on us. We gotta go spy on. And this guy Jim Satala is talking to some guy from Thailand. Why are you talking to someone from Thailand?
Lady boys.
Okay. So bottom line is it's really an unfettered grant of access for them to completely disabuse your basic Fourth Amendment rights. It's terrible, but everyone in power wants to keep it. And that certainly extends to Donald Trump as well. As much as you love the guy, you can love the guy. This is not a good thing to continue onward. We need this thing to die. And it's very close to dying. It's supposed to die tomorrow. That's right. It's supposed to die tomorrow, which we would be done. We're done. So they said, it's going to die. It's going to die. What are we going to do about that? Why are they not extending it? Congress loves having that strong federal power. Why are they not extending it? Well, they basically are trying to punish Donald Trump. This is all about trying to punish Donald Trump. So they said, you know what? You picked someone there to replace Tulsi Gabbard that we don't like. You gave us someone we didn't like. And that's why we're going to make you scared that you're losing your FISA power. You don't want to lose your FISA power, do you? Do you? House rejects last-minute extension for key FISA spy power amid Bill Pulte uproar. The House on Thursday defeated a last-ditch effort to extend a key spy authority until early July after President Trump's pick for acting director of national intelligence rattled lawmakers. The authority, known as Section 702 of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, is set to expire Friday. That's like an hour from now. Congress has twice punted on the issue since the original deadline in April. They keep extending the deadline out. The measure to push back the deadline to July 2nd failed to clear the House in a 198 to 218 vote. House Speaker Mike Johnson, a Louisiana Republican, fast-tracked the measure, meaning it needed a 2/3 majority for passage. Mr. Trump upended bipartisan compromise to renew Section 702 for 3 years when he announced his decision last week to appoint housing regulator Bill Pulte as acting director of national intelligence. So when he came out and said, Tulsi needs to take a potentially permanent leave of office from she's basically walking out of the Trump administration, and announced her resignation, being the director of national intelligence. So I'm going to put this guy, Bill Pulte, in there. Last week, when he announced Bill Pulte, we did a breakdown as to who is Bill Pulte. What can we learn and know about Bill Pulte? And what we saw about him is this guy has no experience at all in serving in any intelligence agency. That's the knock on him that the left wants to say. The reason some people on the right in MAGA world were very excited by Bill Pulte is because in his relatively limited role of serving as the head of mortgage and financing, he actually pressed forward with prosecutions against Adam Schiff and Letitia James for their very, very fraudulent mortgages that they had. So he's basically trying to bring that to the forefront. So you had people like Tim Pool coming out there saying, oh my God, this guy's the most base guy ever. He has such a limited area that he gets to cover, and he managed to bring refer out 2 potential indictments against these sicko, elitist, lunatic leftists and push forward that. And he mistakenly thought that, Bill Pulte found it. He didn't find it. This is information that was accessible before Trump came back into office. We all knew about Adam Schiff's multiple dwellings and how he kept multiple dwellings even after he was censured by Congress for lying on it and then doing it again and doing it again. And Letitia James lying on her mortgage applications 9 ways to Sunday, claiming that it's a different number of residences, claiming she's living in Virginia as a primary residence while she's serving as an attorney general in New York, where it's illegal for her to actually have a primary residence outside the city of New York. And she's signing financial documents saying, I'm a primary resident of Virginia, give me my low mortgage rates. I mean, this is exactly what the hell she was prosecuting Trump for. And she was guilty of it herself, but for one reason or another. So he wasn't the one who unearthed it. This is all stuff that we knew, but he did press it forward. So people looked at it as, okay, Bill Pulte. He's not an intelligence guy. He doesn't have a resume, a background intelligence, but he is a business guy who's seems very adept and adroit at, basically coming in, kicking ass. So you sort of look at him as like, a sort of like a mini type of, I would, very, very mini. Don't take out of context what I'm saying, but the same type of go-getter businessman like you see in Elon Musk. Someone who gets things done. So the same way you get excited.
I don't know that we would want like this experienced person in intelligence running it anyway. We don't want somebody steeped in the deep state to be in charge of it. That's fucking retarded.
And that's another thought that people had, right? Yeah. Is that it's like, I don't want to have someone who's part of the swamp. What am I getting out of that? That's the last thing I want. But Congress does want more swamp creatures. Swamp creatures love having swamp creatures at the head of any sort of organization that's got 3 letters at the start of it. So they basically were not very happy about Bill Pulte because he's an outsider, and outsiders are dangerous to swamp creatures because sometimes they come with pesticides and nets and potentially handcuffs. So they definitely don't like outsiders. So they were all very, very freaked out by Bill Pulte. My take on Bill Pulte is I have no reason to believe he's actually going to be very good at finding anything at all, but I have no reason to think that there's anyone else out there who's better suited for this job, even if they have a storied resume in intelligence. The other thing about this position that I should remind you all that we discussed last week is Trump seems to not have very high regard for the significance and importance of this particular role. That the Director of National Intelligence, he looks at as an invented office, which is basically like a receptionist or like your old school operator who had the whole switchboard there and they would connect this one to that one. So they basically, National Intelligence is supposed to help sync up FBI, CIA, DHS. You're syncing up, you're technically considered a boss, but if you're really a boss, they wouldn't be able to storm your offices and start raiding you. So, how much of a boss are you when your underlings, you can't throw them out of your office when they're investigating you.
I just want to point out that FISA was originally passed in 1978, but it was just to govern spying on foreigners. It didn't allow them to spy on Americans.
It was
nothing. It was because, and the only reason they passed it because they claimed that Nixon was spying on people, claiming he was spying on foreigners, but using it to listen to Americans. So that's why they came up with this thing with this court to determine. But the whole thing after 9/11 is when they changed it to widen it to say, okay, you can spy on Americans now too if they talk to foreigners, and you can spy on a guy who talks to an American who talks to foreigners. And basically they made it like, and I think that's the only thing that will expire is the amendments. I don't think the entire FISA, whatever it was up until 9/11, is going to go away.
So you're saying the stuff from 1978 would still be there,
right?
But not the stuff that came in after 2001.
Correct, which just gave them the ability to have a special court to go to spy on foreigners on U.S. soil.
Mm-hmm. And the point that we're getting to is you and I, as American citizens, should be rooting for this thing to die.
Yeah.
Anyone with a conscience about American civil liberties and actually having our basic freedoms and a fear of an oppressive government should want this thing to die. If you are MAGA, and then the more open and notoriously MAGA you are, the more significant a voice you are in MAGA, the more you should want this to die. For multiple reasons. First and foremost, on the just principle of it, it's sickening. And the second is your own self-interest and survival instinct should tell you that you're not always going to have Donald Trump in office. And when some jackass gets in there, it's you they're going to be spying on and looking to try and manufacture some crime against you. So why would you want them to have more weapons accessible to do that? And I'm not saying this as speculation. I'm saying because we've seen them do exactly that, right? So Operation Arctic Frost, I mean, they're basically coming in, they're just trying to raid as many people in MAGA as they could possibly come up with charges against. Why would you ever want to have something like this kicking around? I understand why Trump wants it there. I understand that he wants to have, basically as close to kingly powers as he can get. I get it, but that doesn't mean that I wouldn't be much happier to have it.
I have a question, though. I mean, we know for a fact that all these Democrats, or as I like to call them, demon rats, have connections with all these foreigners. They're talking to the Cubans, they're talking to the Russians, they're talking to all these foreigners. So then why are they not listening to all their conversations? You could be hopping all the way to Nancy Pelosi's bedroom.
Okay, let me explain. Okay, first and foremost, nobody, and I mean not nobody, even her husband, doesn't want to be hopping to Nancy Pelosi's bedroom. We gotta make that really clear. The problem is this. Here's the problem. The FISA court is located in Washington, D.C., which is 97% Democrat. So all them people there working in the FBI, the CIA, they're working for Trump now. And some of them, I'm sure, are really great. And I'm sure many of them are really great. But the ones who rise through the ranks, the ones who end up being the most significant and powerful movers and shakers in these agencies are not the ones who are necessarily adept and most skilled. They are the ones who are the most similar to politicians. They know what wheels need to be greased, what favors need to be done, what lying promises they need to make, who they need to backstab in order to make someone higher up in the chain happy. So what you get at the upper levels, you're more likely to have a backstabbing jerk at the upper levels than anywhere else in these triple letter agencies. Because that's the way you get there, is by being a backstabbing jerk. And the relationship between these different agencies is very incestuous. They literally will jump from one agency to another. And they'll work in the FBI, they work in the CIA, they work in DHS, they work in the IRS. They all just like, it's like, oh, okay, they have these different lateral moves where they basically all know each other. And frankly, they don't really care Democrat versus Republican. If you have power, they will suck up to you. If you don't have power, they will spit at you. And people who are very, very wealthy are making a lot of decisions there. It's an incestuous relationship, but there's so much pro-Democrat fervor there that even with Trump in office, I don't like them having as much power. And even with Kash Patel heading the FBI, I don't trust the agency not to have pockets of people that are basically working with little to no direct oversight, running whatever stupid operations they decide to run. So that's why which of these people are going to be going after the Nancy Pelosi's of the world?
I don't trust any of them. That's why I would rather them not have the power.
Yeah, 100%. And it looked as if they were very, very close to basically losing this whole thing, because Mr. Trump had they had a bipartisan compromise to renew Section 702. So to renew FISA, it's very easy. Get Congress. Oh yeah, we got to renew it. And whether you're Republican or Democrat, oh yeah, we got to renew it. Why? I don't know. But they're all just dead set. You need to have that power. We need to have that power. So no one can never get rid of 702. But now, all of a sudden, they're trying to shake him up. So Democrats said they would not support a renewal with Pulte installed in the Office of Director of National Intelligence. So while Trump might not have much regard for that position and think that it's pretty much a figurehead, the Democrats are really not happy with having Pulte there because they look at him as a threat because he's an outsider. So they said, oh, you want to name Pulte? Well, if you're going to name Pulte, we're not going to renew FISA. You're going to lose your FISA court. This is the political gamesmanship that was going on today. They cited his lack of national, they come up with their reasons: lack of national security background, his controversial tenure at the federal housing fund. What's controversial is that he offered up indictments on Letitia James and Adam Schiff. That's what makes him controversial. During which he accused several Mr. Trump's foes of mortgage fraud. It's because they had definitely committed mortgage fraud. The choice also elicited pushback from some Republicans. Why? Because we have these stinking rhinos in Congress, and they basically they don't like having an outsider in there. In a statement ahead of the vote, House Democratic leadership said Pulte's appointment is in defiance of the law that requires the intelligence chief to have national security experience and they cannot in good conscience vote for reauthorization without significant reforms to the FISA statutes. So, at least to their credit, they used the fig leaf veneer of saying, well, FISA is supposed to be helping our intelligence agencies. If I don't trust intelligence agencies, I don't want you to have the same powers under FISA. Johnson called the decision stunning, and brave. Even before Pulte's appointment, negotiations on a long-term renewal ran into issues in both the House and Senate from lawmakers across the political spectrum, with warrantless surveillance of Americans at the top of the list of concerns. Section 702 allows the government to collect the communications of non-citizens located outside the U.S. without a warrant, though it can also sweep up the data of Americans who are in contact with targeted foreigners. Mr. Trump on Tuesday dug in on his decision to appoint Pulte. That was Tuesday. Today's Thursday. Not so much digging in anymore. After meeting again with Johnson on Wednesday, Trump asked Congress to approve a short-term extension of 702 to provide time for selection and confirmation of a permanent intelligence chief. Johnson called it a good faith gesture to the Democrats. Democrats said fat chance. And Senate Majority Leader John Thune, and we use the term leader very euphemistically because he's a cuck and he stinks. He said on Tuesday that the selection of permanent appointment would play an important role in unlocking the support we need to get FISA done. We don't need to get FISA done. We need to get FISA toasted and adios. Republican Rick Crawford of Arkansas, chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, said Wednesday a lapse in the spy power could be uncharted territory. It's not uncharted. It's not uncharted. Learn to do your job and actually spy on people who you actually are able to get a valid warrant.
This next paragraph is extremely frightening, and it should upset everyone once you read it.
Once this authorization expires, the clock starts ticking, he said during floor debate. The implications get worse every single day. While the 702 database would remain available to search, the data in that database will become increasingly out of date. What?
So they have a database, Joe, of everybody's fucking phone calls, and they just sit on them. And when they need to, they just go look through them like a Rolodex. Oh, what did Joe say? What did this person say? Who did they talk to? Insanity.
Wow.
Remember?
Wow.
Well, we might sweep up American stuff unwittingly, but not on purpose. And it's just sitting there.
And that was proven to be a lie.
Right, but they do sweep it all up. And then if it's there and they have it. So if they want to go look, they can.
It's unbelievable.
If they get a warrant.
Crawford also cited the potential for service providers to refuse to comply with the government. The point that Jim's getting at is they have an enormous database of your information, or information of people that you certainly know and love and probably have nothing to do with any sort of criminal activity.
It's been alleged that there's a program called Echelon that the government has that monitors every phone call for simple words. I'm not going to say the words right here, but one starts with a B, one starts with president. And if those words are said together, you're going to start getting looked at.
Right. And it's not the B word that people say when they're thinking of Kamala Harris or Hillary Clinton becoming president.
It's the one you can't say on planes.
It's the one you can't. It's the one that does not rhyme with tomb or comb. But yes. Representative Jamie Raskin of Maryland, top Democrat, argued the government surveillance activities will continue unchanged after Friday. Quote, everything that has already been authorized, certified, is already in motion. Current FISA authorizations will continue unaffected at least through March 17, 2027. Well, that's disappointing. He said, referring to the FISA court's reported annual recertification of the program. The House will now leave town until June 23rd. Asked by CBS News whether he would bring the House back before that, Johnson said, what would be the point of me going through this exercise? Well, the point is that Trump caved. As you may have noticed that they updated the story, saying later on Thursday, President Trump announced he will nominate federal prosecutor Jay Clayton as Director of National Intelligence. This came in at 6:24 p.m. on CBS News. He announced he's nominating Jay Clayton. So Bill Pulte out on ice.
Time out.
Adios.
Time out. Jay Clayton, U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York. So that means he was approved by both Chuck Schumer and Kirsten Gillibrand. This is a bad fucking idea.
Yet again, the ever-prescient Jim Satala has stolen my thunder.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Because he just knows, this is why you need to be subbed up to Jim. This is why, because he has very good instincts. Very good instincts, because I saw the exact same thing. As soon as I saw U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York, I said, I don't like this guy. I do not like this guy. Nobody in the Southern District of New York is someone that we want to be seeing in any sort of levers of power in federal government ever.
Anybody that was, a judge for New York that was approved, that got a blue slip by Schumer or Gillibrand, or, go to Illinois, a blue slip by Durbin or legless lady. I can't even remember her name. I don't remember the senator's name now. Duckworth. Name it. You know what I mean? You like, oh, that's sorry, Joe. I mean, you
don't have to apologize.
Like, oh, that's
Oh, look at that. I know what happened. That's me. I had an echo there. Sorry. That was on me. But hearing you groan over and over seemed to be the best thing we could put on loop. If anything's going to have to be on loop during the course of the show, you giving a frustrated groan is appropriate, because as bad as it is that he's from U.S. Southern District of New York, it's going to get, when you hear about him, you're going to like him less. You're going to like him less. Because we're going to be doing, I'm going to be giving you a little bit of a breakdown on exactly who Jay Clayton is and all the reasons you should be like, this sucks.
He's closely tied to Mueller and Comey and other people we don't like.
I don't know. I wouldn't say Mueller. Comey, she worked in the Southern District of New York for a long time, Maureen Comey. Right? So Maureen Comey, Maureen Comey is really famous for? She's famous. Her most famous conviction of her life is Ghislaine Maxwell. Yeah, that's right. He stepped in. He was the guy who stepped in. You're going to hear all about him. You're going to hear. I'm going to break it down for you as to how disastrous a pick this is. Awful, 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 terrible pick. I mean, everything that you're just like, why? Yeah. All right. President announced the move in a post on True Social. Let's see what that says.
Is he, question though, did he get approved by the Senate, so he was approved by them, or was he the guy that was picked by the judges in the Southern District of New York to be the U.S.
He had to be approved by the Senate in order to become a U.S. attorney. Remember?
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, he would just be acting or something. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a U.S. attorney for the Southern District of New York. He's already passed with flying colors. You want to know why? Because of the resume Trump tells you about, mysteriously, ponderously, proudly, highly respected Jay Clayton, former chairman of the SEC.
Oh, okay.
Former head of Sullivan and Cromwell. This is arguably the biggest law firm on earth. It's certainly top 10. And it is, when you're talking about elitist law firms, who this guy is the head of Sullivan and Cromwell, that is where you're talking massive swamp creatures. When they get into politics, they are pure, all they care about is power, establishment. This is your Amy Coney Barrett thing at best. And at worst, it's someone who's actually just like a leftist, and it's like a leftist in sheep's clothing. One of the most prominent and successful law firms anywhere in the world. It's true, Sullivan Cromwell is. And the current U.S. attorney for the Southern District of New York to be the next director of national intelligence, and importantly, to serve in my cabinet. God, this is like just inviting. It's like inviting a mongoose for to sit in on your play group with your kid and your 2-year-old kid and their friends. Few people anywhere in the legal community are respected at the level of Jay. I'm sure he's a very good attorney. I'm sure he's a very, very good attorney. I don't know what intelligence background he has. I don't see intelligence. I mean, I'm sure he's very intelligent, but as far as, the classic sense of the term, part of the intelligence agency, I don't see that here.
It's probably all top secret because it was all the times he went to the FISA court to get warrants to spy on people.
Yeah. So president announced the move. And why is he doing this? Because he wants to appease Congress. Now they'll be like, because he's the perfect swamp creature that Congress will love. And they'll be like, oh, we know Jay. We like Jay. Okay, now we'll give you your FISA court. So basically, this power that Trump wants, that none of us want him to have, it's punishing us 2 ways. Because first, he's getting that power. He's going to be getting an extension on this power. And second, we're going to have this swamp creature just moving on in to be director of national intelligence and part of Trump's cabinet. Few people anywhere in the legal community are respected, blah, blah, blah. Within a few hours of the president's post, the Senate Select Intelligence Committee scheduled a confirmation hearing for Clayton for June 17th.
Oh, yeah, they're happy with it. They love it. This is for everybody.
They never scheduled anything for Bill Pulte, but yeah.
Probably saw Chuck Schumer go like this as one of his very rare.
Yeah, you probably saw him jump in the air and click his heels together.
Probably made extra hamburgers, raw burgers with cheese on them.
President asked CIA Director John Ratcliffe recommendations for the Director of National Intelligence, and Ratcliffe recommended Clayton. Yep. I'll tell you, most people didn't like Ratcliffe as an appointment.
Yeah.
President agreed with the recommendation. A person familiar with the situation told CBS News the president wants Pulte to dramatically scale back the Office of Director of National Intelligence. Source said allowing Clayton to lead a significantly reduced operation once confirmed. Now that's relatively trying to make it less painful. Democrats are refusing to agree to an extension as long as Pulte is set to assume the role. The president said Pulte will take over for Tulsi Gabbard on June 19th, and his announcement of Clayton's nomination did not change the timeline. Senator Majority Leader John Thune applauded the move, telling reporters that Clayton has great reputation, and this swamp creature, John Thune, may he rot in hell, great reputation of being an incredibly competent manager. I don't know what realistic is, but we're going to probe the limits of it. Oh, sorry. The South Dakota Republican said he's hopeful the move will help bring an end to the standoff over FISA and pledge to confirm it as quickly as possible. I don't know what realistic is, but we're going to probe the limits of it, meaning we're going to try and expedite him as fast as we possibly can. Another sign that this is just a disaster. Senator Mark Warren of Virginia, top Democrat on the Senate Intelligence Committee, indicated to reporters he opposes extending FISA with Bill Pulte still set to become acting director of national intelligence, though he noted that he has great respect for Clayton. Of course you do. Of course you do. If there was a way that Tulsi Gabbard would stay in her position so we can get him confirmed, that could be a way out, Warner said.
Or she could just stay. How about she just stays? Since her husband's making a full recovery, how about she just stays?
What does my goal mean, 4 in a row? It means that's 4 nights in a row that I'm hitting my goal. You can be a part of it. We're building a legacy
be part of
here.
A perfect week for Joe.
We're building a legacy here. We're trying to build like a successive string. Do you know how important that is? How critical that is? A successful string. Plus, I'll take shots. I got my shots ready to go. I've been taking a shot on stream a long time.
Oh.
So
I'll go get a bottle too, and I'll take a shot.
We'll take a shot. Yeah, a hardcore shot.
Hardcore. Not a COVID shot.
No, that you couldn't pay me enough to take that. Why he waited until after the House broke, I have no idea. He said, but yeah, everyone is all excited, and they're popping the champagne that they're going to get Jay Clayton in there. And so now we're going to get Jay Clayton and extension of FISA. He was confirmed in August 2025 to be U.S. Attorney for Manhattan. And He also, it's the office that's leading the prosecution against Venezuela's former Nicolas Maduro. He also played a role in Jeffrey Epstein files. You know, in case you don't hate him enough, in November, then Attorney General Pam Bondi said Clayton would investigate the late sex offender Jerry Epstein's connections to prominent Democrats after Mr. Trump called for an investigation on Truth Social.
No, whatever happened with that? Huh? They all went to jail, right?
Exactly. This is swamp. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This is swamp. He is literally, if you think that there's I don't know that there are any what they call P protectors. You've heard the term. So I don't know that there are any P protectors. But if there are any P protectors out there, he is the head. Because he's the one who's supposed to be prosecuting people, and he ain't. Not going after anyone. So I don't know what the story is. What's the deal? How he's not able to get Clinton is just astonishing. The president's director came amid pressure with the administration to release the full Epstein files. It's unclear what, if anything, from the initiative. Yeah, what, if anything? It's not, what, if nothing? More recent Clinton has also questioned the lengthy vote counting process in California primaries. On the integrity side, we're doing a terrible job, Clinton told CNBC this week, and American people are right to question it. Yeah, what are you doing about it? What are you doing about it? Trump said Pulte may find out some things about the rigged elections. A notable comment after Gabbard attended an FBI search of election center in Fulton County, Georgia, earlier this year. It's not clear if Clinton, if confirmed, will continue such probes. Yeah, well, I'm sure he's gonna just be probing really deep. He's been probing really deep. So he's going to get right on it. That's Jay Clayton right there. Like I said, I think he's a very intelligent person. I have no doubt that this guy's a swamp creature, and you're not going to see a single indictment come from him. Nothing. It's all the freaking lip service of, oh, wow, this looks really terrible. Because I have to say this because I'm on the Republican side now. This looks so bad. Let me explain something to you. He is so deeply a Democrat because no one is the head of Sullivan and Cromwell. Every head of a big firm in New York, every one of them is staunchly Democrats. They are your white liberals. There is no chance that this guy is remotely anything like what you would consider MAGA. I'm telling you right now, he's not your crazy leftist Democrat. He's not the type of person who's going to go out there and start hugging, start hugging Dylan Mulvaney as a photo op. He's not that type of Democrat.
No, he's a Wall Street Democrat.
Yes, he is your classic, typical, wealthy Wall Street Democrat. That's who this guy is. He is worth many, many millions of dollars, probably, if not tens, hundreds of millions. I'm sure he's fabulously loaded, and he is your classic New York liberal Democrat who now is joining Trump's cabinet as director of national intelligence. Why? So that Trump can get extension of FISA power. Awful. Nothing remotely good about this story. I can't sugarcoat it. So I told you from day one, the thing that we hate about Trump the most are how much money he spends and who he appoints. And this, telling you now, is a disaster pick.
If you squint, that guy literally looks like Comey.
I see it. You trying to set my next story?
No.
That was a really awesome segue.
Well, that's what I'm known for.
That was an awesome segue. That was very, very fluid. I got a whole bunch of other stories.
Fluid.
What?
Fluid.
I was gonna go a little longer on this story, but I don't think I think it just feels it's like it's get repetitious. I think you got what you needed.
He sucks.
He sucks. Yeah. Before we get over to my next story. I did have this clip here of someone who makes your blood boil. So while we're all good and wild, let's hear John Thune here and how much of a useless piece of crap he is.
Turn the volume up on the bottom. On the bottom, the volume's all the way in the
in response to the downing of an Apache helicopter near the Strait of Hormuz, the U.S. military hitting Iranian radar sites and ground control stations. This latest escalation comes as President Trump tells Fox News that he could order more strikes and is getting closer to targeting Iranian power plants and bridges. Joining us now is Senate Majority Leader John Thune. The president's going to sign the Secure America Act at 10 a.m. He might take some questions, so we will go to that. In the meantime, from your perspective on the Republican side of the Senate, would those senators support military action in a more than a proportional response at this point?
No. I think most Republican senators, Dana, would support the president and our military achieving their objectives. And I don't have the kind of visibility into some of the things there that the war planners do, but I think most Republican senators, at least, believe we need to finish the job and want to support the president to ensure that that gets done. Now, if he can negotiate a deal that is acceptable, that's obviously one way of reaching an outcome. If it's necessary to use additional force.
I can't. This guy's sick.
I'm sorry. I got to ask why is there any radar sites left? I thought we bombed them so bad.
I don't understand. I don't understand any of it. I don't understand any of it. I don't.
I mean, as soon as they turn the radar on, we should know where it is and destroy it. I don't.
We have win after win after win, and I'm tired of it. I'm tired.
To achieve that outcome,
I'm tired of the whole thing. So can't never figure out how to get rid of my stupid Fox. I can never.
Yeah, Fox loves to just play shit.
Yeah. Where was my other thing I wanted? Just get this. So I'll probably pull it because I don't know where I ended up doing with. I don't know where it ended up going. So I'm just gonna re-pull it. Pull it up here. Oh, that's weird. Okay. You mentioned James Comey, who's facing indictment for his 8647 post.
Mm-hmm.
Well, apparently that's become the go-to phrase for the lunatic left. U.S. authorities investigate huge 8647 marking on grounds of National Mall in Washington, D.C. A huge 8647 is seen traced in the grass of the National Mall. Look at this thing. Here's the 8, the 6. Here's the 8 over here. There's the 6, and this is the 4.
I don't understand how they don't know who did this.
There's the 4, and there's the 7.
You know what I mean? Whoever did it, there's clearly video watching it at all times, so they would be able to see the people doing it. What did they use to do it? Did they use chemicals? Did they put things down on the ground? What did they use? How did they do it?
I don't know. It's a good question. You got to give credit that, it's like crop circles, right? It's like how they do that?
The White House is the.
I would charge them with destruction of government property. That lawn belongs to the government. It belongs to the taxpayers. It's part of the Capitol Mall, White House Mall, and all that stuff. And whoever did it, it's a felony.
If you can find them, yeah. U.S. Department of Interior said on Thursday it's investigating what appeared to be a large tracing of 8647 into the grounds of the National Mall in Washington, D.C. A Reuters photographer atop the Washington Monument saw the apparent marking in the grass near the World War II memorial shortly before authorities arrived at the scene. It shows the numbers 8, 6, and 7, but a 4 is not clearly defined. U.S. Park Police and members of the National Guard responded to the scene. The term 8647 has been adopted by opponents of President Donald Trump as a protest against his administration. No, it's not protest. It's basically a call for his assassination. Trump allies and U.S. DOJ have said it could be interpreted as a call to violence. First, the slang term 86 originating in the restaurant industry. No one knows that, meaning to expel or get rid of something. And Trump is the 47th U.S. president. Everyone thinks of it as being from the mob, basically saying to 86 someone. So I don't care if it was originating in restaurants. Everyone thinks of it as being like a mob movie type of thing from like, the 40s. They got 86 that guy. An Interior Department spokesperson referred to the incident as deranged vandalism. Quote, any threat against the president is taken very seriously by the department, and our U.S. police will investigate the incident and hold those responsible accountable, spokesperson said in a statement. Yeah, I think the 4 there it's not that hard to glean from this. So
it almost looks to me like they used some kind of chemical or something on the grass, like weed killer, and sprayed it. That's why it circles.
Oh,
and it's like brown circles. You know what I mean? Like
each of those circles is basically the length of like like 2/3 of a car. So you figure it's like diameter like 10 feet. Right?
Either that, or they just had a bunch of people with like blankets or something, and they just laid blankets down on the grass all day long, and they killed the grass. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that it looks as if they used something different for the 6 and for the 7. You know what I'm saying? And for the 7 is something else. Like they have these little dots here for the 6, the big dots for the 8. This looks like it was trampled. I don't think it was maybe weed killer. It looks as if they used some sort of, I agree with you, they used some sort of machine. It could be that they had some sort of weighted thing that went on the ground to just sort of like mark spots. Like maybe it would like look like a pole when someone was holding it, but the bottom of the pole has this footprint. Because it looks like it's the same footprint over and over and over again in each of these things in the 8. Very different from what was used in the 6, where it looks like it was some narrow pole that was put down there. And 7 really looks like people purposefully trampled it or something to trample in a 7.
I mean, it almost to me looks like they started doing it and they didn't finish. Because I don't even see the 4.
Do you think if they actually got to, I see the line here for this, I think is the line of the 4 right here, right?
Maybe.
I think this is supposed to be the line of the 4. And then it probably would come out. I see it. I can sort of see it like this. But maybe it's even on here. It's this part of the 4 looks like the grain of the grass, which looks like, it's sort of like light green, dark green, light green, darker green, like strips like that. Like it's almost like coinciding with that. So you don't really know, if they started working on that or not. But it was unclear how the markings of the grass were made. In areas, the grass turned brown to form the shape of numbers in contrast to the surrounding green. U.S. Park Police said the cause of discoloration has not yet been determined. Spokesperson said grass samples have been collected for testing and investigation is ongoing. White House referred questions about the incident to the Department of Interior. The incident comes as the National Mall is set to be the scene for events celebrating the 250th anniversary of U.S. independence in the coming weeks. So there's specifically, the timing on this is designed to basically trample, pardon the pun, on Trump's big parade for the 250th anniversary. Trump has devoted personal attention to refurbishing the space, including painting the reflecting pool near the Lincoln Memorial. A 16-day Great American State Fair is set to place in the National Mall beginning June 25th. Hey, it's my birthday. The term 8647 is at the center of at least one high-profile criminal case, that involving James Comey. And you all know about that case. And if not, I don't really care. So you should know about it. So you have any thoughts on this?
I mean,
it
bothers me that they
scale
did
of 1 to 10. How much does this story bother you?
It's like a 7, 6 or 7. It bothers me not so much that I think like these people that did it are going to try to kill Trump or anything like that. The fact that they were able to do it in D.C. without anybody seeing them, that close to the Congress and the White House and all this other stuff, where there's the most photographed city in the world, or at least the country, if not the world. And the only other time anything was done without it being filmed was when that guy got killed. That definitely didn't steal the stuff that from the DC DNC, that the mugging that happened in the 1 3-foot square area that wasn't.
Watergate?
No. I'm talking about the guy that worked for the DNC, that the stuff that Russia supposedly stole.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name, but I think he was killed.
The lawyer.
The guy. It was a robbery, but nothing was stolen.
That's Rich. That's Seth Rich.
Seth Rich, yeah. I thought that was the only area in DC that wasn't covered by camera, was where he died.
There was another Clinton person who was also killed in some sort of tragic incident. Was it
Total
Jones?
happenstance.
Yeah. Well, anyhow, yeah, it's. I'm with you. I was very disconcerted by the notion that this could happen like under their nose, and I think that's part of the objective is to basically try and make Trump's administration look incompetent in that someone got away with this. So, yeah, I think that it's. I think it's. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't really bother me that much because it's like, it's like when I see these people, whining with their stuff, it pretty much reminds me of this guy. That didn't work. What happened? Dagnabbit. This guy right here, Senator John Cornyn, who called Scott Presler a grifter. It's like, you're a loser. So it's like, he's calling a grifter. Some other schnook is throwing out there 86-47. It's like when you have nothing, you have no power, you're just angry, then you just like throw out words. So
what is Scott Presler doing to make money? He's doing stuff to get votes. He's not out there making money. What? I'd
be surprised if Scott Presler didn't make a lot of money from what he's doing.
Maybe,
I'd be surprised.
I'm saying he's not out here saying, give me money, I'll do this. He's out here doing stuff. I've never actually heard him ask for money.
Right. That's 100% true.
And if I'm wrong, someone pointed out, I've never heard him say, give me money. He just says, we're doing this.
It's pretty funny because apparently there was an interaction between Scott and John Cornyn which, in case you're unaware of it, Scott Presler, aka the Persistence, he basically, to punish Thune, spent the last month before the primary runoff between Cornyn and Paxton campaigning very hard for Paxton. So that's why Cornyn is not going to be a fan. And what Scott wrote was, just had a conversation with Senator John Cornyn at the airport. I was very gracious and asked him to pass the Safe America Act. He's going to listen to you, Scott. So, yeah. And this was what someone had shared this out, which is how I found it. When you see Scott losing the election because of him. What he actually... This is Scott's response. Dear Senator Cornyn, I approached you respectfully at the airport, extending my hand and introducing myself. We were at the ticket gate with literally dozens of witnesses, passengers inches away. Despite a quib reply back from you, I kept things professional and focused on the Save America Act. While I respect that you say you want to ensure wins in November, I speak for millions when I say that voters will be more likely to vote upon the passage of the Save America Act. Voters see what's happening in California and wonder why our Senate isn't doing everything in its power to secure our elections. Did you know that former Congresswoman Michelle Steele lost by 653 votes in 2024? Did you know that? We lost a House seat by 650 votes?
Yep, they just kept counting until they got enough votes to knock them out.
Did you know that former Congressman John Duarte lost by 187 votes?
Yep.
I have no doubt that the Save America Act would have prevented these losses. Why are we normalizing an expectation for California to count votes for weeks after Election Day like Spencer Pratt's election? In North Carolina, the State Board of Elections found 34,000 dead voters on the voter rolls. Fact check me. How can Americans have confidence in our elections? And how are Americans going to be inspired to vote if you don't legislate as the majority? And that's what I basically was saying. If you cannot pass the Save America Act, I said this just yesterday. I was screaming this yesterday. In fact, I was looking at this when I was right before the show. I was trying to edit some shorts that I would be posting, and I think I have it.
This is where their lie about they're only worried about winning elections is proven, because They always do this to protect the incumbent guy. And then when the incumbent loses the primary, they shaft the guy who beat them. Or they're who they want, like if it's not an incumbent, but if it's an open primary type of thing, and the person that the Senate people want to win the primary wins, they shaft the people. They did it to Kerry Lake. They did it to that guy in Nevada. They did it to the guy in New Mexico. They did it to the guy in Michigan. They do it repeatedly over and over again.
Yeah.
And they're going to do it to Paxton too. They're not going to give Paxton money.
Oh, of course, they're not going to give Paxton any money. Why would they give Paxton?
And then they're going to go, see, we told you. See, we told you. But hopefully, I don't think Paxton's going to lose.
I don't think he's going to lose either. I think that Tallarico is such a bad choice.
Telefrico.
Yeah, I can't imagine him actually losing. But yeah, I mean, if we can't pass the Save America Act, I don't know what the hell we're doing. I don't know why we're here. What are we doing? If you can't pass the Save America Act, I have no interest in you. You're useless. So I don't care about holding the Senate, because basically we're down to just whatever Trump can get away with an EO is what we're going to have, and the Senate is useless. So Kimmy Hunt coming in and say you can go to Washington Monument Earth Cam 24/7 and see something on the lawn. 2 days ago, around where the 8 appears, the following 48 hours as the grass dies. Sent link. Ooh, look at that! I'm gonna definitely pull that up. You're awesome. Thank you. This is also what he said last time. I mean this with the utmost respect for the $150 million that was spent on the Texas Senate primary runoff. We could have built massive voter registration, get out the vote operations in every single swing state. While I understand it might be difficult to contemplate an American citizen doing this work because it's the right thing to do, I'm proud to say that I don't take PAC money, not even from my own organization. I can't be bought, which frustrates the political establishment. My one singular mission is doing right by the American people and delivering legislative wins that the popular vote delivered in 2024. I'm on the way to the Texas GOP convention to help ensure all of our Republican candidates win this November. I hope you'll do the same. I hope you'll do the right thing and encourage your colleagues to pass the Save America Act. Let's win big. So the senator is the one who looks like the whiny loser, and the guy who looks like, he stepped out of the 70s, out of that 70s show, is the one who actually is acting with class and dignity here in Scott Presler. So kudos to Scott. Big fan of Scott Presler. Trump watches you overnight. I knew it. They're proof. Oh, of course. Oh, there's your proof, though, what Kimmy shared with me. Let me see what she shared here. Let's see what we got here. Oh, this is the current cam. This is 11:59 p.m. This is what it looks like right now. But you would think yeah, so you said there was something that was 2 days ago. So I don't know. Let me click this up. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Do you know how to use EarthCam to go back in time?
No clue.
Archive.
Oh, okay, archive.
What did she say? She said
48 hours ago.
See something on the lawn 2 days ago around where the 8 appears. So an archive, what is this? This is 1601. How do I know what day I'm on?
How long is the archive? 2 hours?
This is showing 1:00 p.m. So it's basically every hour I'm going back another hour. So this goes back like 12 hours. I want to search for 2 days ago. So that would be June 9th. It didn't work. Search for date and time. Settings. Music views, local camera off.
It said
camera.
scroll down, whatever that means. I don't know. Maybe when you open it up, scroll down. Or
There we go. 2 days ago. There you see the 8 starting to come out.
still see the 8 a little bit.
Let's see if it's the 8 here at all. This is 3 days ago.
Sort of see it.
I think what you need to do is, I think if you go here, I know, I want to see, what is this? Look at these people gathered here.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gathered in a very, very suspicious place, right? They're all in the same spots?
Yeah.
Oh, what time is this? How do I? Oh, this is just a slideshow. See all these people over here by the 8?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, go back. How do I zoom in? I'm trying to make this bigger. There's definitely a whole bunch of folks over here. This is not a one-person thing. I'll make this bigger.
I think they had like, I think they
I'll make this bigger so you guys can see it better.
or something like that, or like something in
You can see over here, there's all these different people here. And over here at the southern part of the 8th, this is a group organization. This is definitely a group organization. Which makes sense because something of this size, you can't get one person wouldn't be able to do this. It's very tricky. This is some organization put this together.
probably
Probably what?
probably the same group that's organizing the No Kings rallies and Code Pink, and maybe Marjorie Taylor Greene should be called in to answer questions.
Yeah.
Probably her and Thomas Massey are down there doing it.
Thank you, Kimmy. That was really helpful. That was great. I think we solved it. So maybe we will actually see, this gives me hope that we're actually going to see some prosecutions, right?
Well, you would think that those people probably have cell phones, so they'll be able to know who was there by the cell phones to triangulate them. They'll know these people were the ones there doing this. They're going to test the grass if they find some kind of grass killer or some kind of chemical.
They search the FISA archives. Search them FISA archives. You'll find them. You'll find them. All right. And I did want to talk about, make sure I cover the main stories. I want to knock off the main stories that I promised I was going to cover tonight. And that was the, I don't know if you can dig up a copy of the Florida decision. I actually meant to pull it up and I haven't.
I don't think it was a decision. I think it was just they said we're not taking the case. They just rejected it.
Well, I thought I saw someone saying that there was a decision. I could be wrong.
I think that was in yesterday's stories. Or was it today's?
Florida Supreme Court allows state Republicans to use a new congressional map.
Did you hear?
The Florida Supreme Court declined Wednesday to halt the use of a new congressional map the state Republicans passed earlier this year amid a mid-decade redistricting push. Governor Ron DeSantis had signed the map into law in May after the U.S. Supreme Court ruled in the Louisiana redistricting case that the state's existing congressional map that includes an additional majority black district violated Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act. A Florida judge blocked a lawsuit from several Democratic groups that sued the state in May over the map, which would have given Republicans as much as a 24-4 advantage, currently holding a 28 majority advantage. Florida Supreme Court upheld that ruling in a 6-1 split. According to the Hill, refusing to request to issue a temporary injunction against the new districts. So we'll hear your case out, but we're not going to be hearing it out until after the elections are over. Attorneys for the voters who sued have argued the new House districts violate a state constitutional provision prohibiting partisan gerrymandering. They asked the court to order the states to continue using the same districts as the previous election in the state's August primaries.
The districts don't look like they're gerrymandered to me.
You're saying just based on the shape?
The shapes, they don't look gerrymandered. I mean, what are they supposed to use to make the districts then? To say this is ridiculous to say there's a rule against partisan gerrymandering. Then how do they gerrymander any? How do they pick any line? They just close their eyes and draw the maps?
That's apparently what they want. I want to see if we can just quickly click on picture of the map. Well, we'll pull up a map. Map Florida.
I mean, it was clearly a partisan gerrymander before that those districts were drawn to give those Democrats those seats.
Yeah. So if we're looking at these maps here, this is the old map. This is the new map. This is the 20-8. This is the 24-4. So, you know, it doesn't look like there's anything here that particularly egregious. You don't see like what we see in Illinois, or we saw in Louisiana, all these crazy drawn maps.
California.
Yeah, I agree with you. It doesn't have there's no snake-like configurations. Maybe this one a little bit. Maybe this one a little bit.
Well, that's just because that's where Tampa Bay is. So it's like a little nub on the bay.
Right. So I think they might have tried to screw Tampa out of the District 14 out of being, this was District 14. So they kind of ripped that apart. And then they took they just hacked these things to pieces. This one down here, which is where
Mar-a-Lago is.
Yes, West Palm. This over here is where Mar-a-Lago is. This is where Debbie Wasserman Schultz is the congresswoman in District 25.
Anymore. Now she's running in a black district.
Is she?
Yes. They're not happy.
Desperate. But diversity, I thought diversity is our strength. Isn't diversity our strength? Diversity is not our strength? I don't understand. Isn't diversity our strength?
Well, she's she's diverse, I guess, enough.
Very, very diverse. And what else did I want to cover for you? There's a couple other stories.
I really want to talk about the story of the MAGA woman whose daughter got killed.
Why don't you teach me about the woman, the girl who was the daughter of the MAGA woman who was
killed? Here we can start with the news. We can start with the news story about it.
What do you got?
The mother of a Glenview teenager murdered in her home in late March is speaking out tonight, frustrated that the Cook County State's Attorney's Office has not brought charges against the person that she believes killed her daughter.
Why are you not behind bars? Where is the line of justice? What do we need?
Christine MAGA is the mother of 16-year-old.
Christine MAGA. That's her name. MAGA is her last name. And they're killing MAGA people in Chicago, and they're getting away with it. And they're not doing nothing, Joe. I told you had to hear this story.
I'm sitting there at 2 a.m, landing my plane, and you're basically confusing me about MAGA woman, daughter of MAGA woman, and I have no idea what the hell you're talking about. And now you're telling me that this woman's name is MAGA.
MAGA. Yes. And they saw it. These Democrats saw that her name is MAGA, and they're like, fuck you. We're not doing nothing.
You think so?
I do. That's my headcanon. And until they prove me wrong, that's what I'm going with.
She's probably some leftist. She herself is probably some leftist.
Well,
imagine
you know
imagine what a curse she considers her name now. So give us go on. Let's hear the story.
MAGA is the mother of 16-year-old Lily Bova, who was shot and killed on March 30th in the Glenview apartment she shared with her mother, sister, and brother. Bova was found shot in her bedroom and later died at Lutheran General Hospital. Her mother tells Fox Chicago that Cook County sheriffs have told her they have sufficient evidence to file charges against the suspect, but she says the state's attorney's office is asking for more time. She believes the circumstances surrounding her daughter's murder are more than enough to bring charges.
This is someone that came into my home, was let in, and was in my daughter's bedroom while my other daughter was watching a movie in the other room, and heard a loud bang. And he came out and he had the gun, and my daughter protected herself with a pillow, and he asked for a hug. I'm not sure what that was about. She told him just to get out. He called his mother on the phone to come pick him up, and he left.
Now, we reached out to the Office of State's Attorney Eileen O'Neill Burke this afternoon. So far, we've not received a response. Christine MAGA says she believes the person that she believes killed her daughter is still living in the community, and she says she's fearful for the safety of her other 2 children.
Well, she should be.
Yeah, because they're just killing MAGA people.
You got to stop saying that.
Why?
Because it's a very misleading statement.
It is 100% factually accurate.
It's factually accurate.
I'm just like the news.
You need to be better than the news. That's if you're just like the news, people don't need you. You need to be better than the news.
I'm watching this story because there's got to be more to it. Like the person who did it must be connected to someone, either a state's attorney or a Democrat politician or something. There's something else going on here.
That's almost certainly true. That's almost certainly true.
I told you it was an easy story, quickly peasy, you get through it.
We did get through it relatively quickly. I'm just saying I didn't expect that. Yeah. People are calling this a big win. I know that when Jim shared this with me, he called it a big win. And I think others are also calling it a big win for Trump's slush funds. But if you actually read this past the headline, it's not really that big a win, at least in my opinion. And that is, the judge declines to halt anti-weaponization fund since Blanche says it's dead, but warns DOJ not to play possum. So a federal judge on Wednesday denied a request to block the Trump administration's anti-weaponization fund. That sounds good. Accepting the government's argument that Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche has already vowed not to move forward with the controversial 1776 billion fund. So the reason that the Democrats lost is because it's already frozen. It's already dead. Meaning, you probably heard that when Trump sued the United States of America based on their wrongful release of his tax records, so he sued them for $10 billion. He and Todd Blanche, he sued personally in his own capacity, agreed to a settlement wherein they said they took $1,776,000,000, set it aside as a slush fund for victims of DOJ weaponization.
They spelled possum wrong.
No, that's how you spell it.
No, it's an O.
There's no O in
possum. It's opossum. That's how it's spelled.
There's no O in possum. I mean, there's P-O.
No, there's an O in possum.
I don't know what you're talking about. There's your O.
Ask Rock how to spell possum.
Why would I ask? Why am I asking Grok how to spell? I know how to spell possum. Okay. Grok, how do you spell possum?
Possum. That's it.
The animal possum is spelled Possum.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's Oppossum.
It's OPP?
Yes.
You know, it's OPP?
Yeah.
You and me?
Or OP. It's O. It starts with O. Opossum.
No. It's possum. Okay. The animal itself can be called a possum or an opossum. I happen to know this one. It can be called a possum. It can be called an opossum. But when you're talking about playing possum, no one would say don't play opossum. You just say play possum.
We would play something that...
Because a possum or an opossum is notorious for playing dead when it's being attacked by predators. Fascinating thing about the opossum is to the Big Bang Theory people, they think that the opossum has been around for billions of years, relatively unchanged. And they said the reason that they believe this is because, and that it survived all sorts of calamities that no other creature is able to survive. And the reason, I remember reading about this a long time ago, the reason that it's uniquely capable to survive is twofold, without changes, is twofold. Number one is it can basically eat anything and live. It can eat anything and live. That's number one.
Well, according to...
three things.
There's two different animals. One is opossum, which is in North America that plays dead. The possum, Possum, is a tree-dwelling marsupial in Australia. So I don't think that's what they're referring to when you say possum.
Okay. Touche. But what he said was he probably didn't say don't play opossum. He probably said don't play possum.
So the O is silent. No one says opossum. They say
Of course you say opossum if there's an O in there.
No, you don't. No, you don't. The O
yes,
is silent.
you do.
No, you don't.
Oh, you're totally wrong. That I think you're totally wrong.
Share my screen, dude.
Oh, a second. Grok, when it's spelled opossum, is the first O silent or is it pronounced?
It's pronounced opossum. The first O is not silent.
Grok is full of shit. Grok is full of shit.
I'm telling you. The O is not silent. If it's silent, then you're just saying possum.
Yeah, that's what they're called, possums.
No, they're not called possums. They're called opossums.
No, they're not.
Opossums.
Well, never heard it pronounced that way. Maybe that's some New Jersey.
So maybe you're referring. Maybe all these people are referring to the Australian marsupial.
Oh, when they're saying there's a possum in my yard.
Yes, and they don't realize that they are confusing. They should be saying there's an opossum in my yard. They're not saying there's an opossum in my yard. They're referring to the Australian tree-dwelling thing, and they're wrong. There is not a possum in their yard. There's an opossum.
No.
I'm gonna have to rant about this. I'm totally right on this.
No,
I'm totally right on this.
The chat totally agrees with me.
This is not a popularity thing.
Oh, it is.
I got JH coming in here hard. Joda, 71 Jewish girls found in New York City sewers. What are you doing with your people? I put a link in locals, but you don't. I put a link in locals, but you don't check locals. I do check locals, just not often enough. 71 Jewish girls rescued from New York sewer tunnels. I can't believe this is a true story. I can't believe. I'll come to this. I'll come to this in a moment. And he sent it with a tip. Joe, what are you doing? I'm gonna give you another horn because I missed this earlier. What are you doing? Real story in New York. 71 Jewish girls rescued from New York sewer tunnels. I'm gonna look at that momentarily. Thank you, brother. By the way, are you going to be on Saturday? Glad you asked. I will not be here Saturday night. I'm gonna be out of town, so I'm not gonna make it back here until very late. And yeah, so I'm not gonna be here Saturday night. That's another reason I didn't set the goal for Saturday and for us to have a Saturday show, because I was like, I won't be able to abide by that. Anyhow, let's finish up this weaponization fund. In a court hearing, U.S. District Judge Richard Leon issued a warning to the Justice Department: don't play possum with this court. Leon's decision not to issue a TRO marked an early victory for the Justice Department in one of its lawsuits it's facing over the anti-weaponization fund, which was unveiled last month to settle a suit that Trump filed against the IRS over the leak of his tax returns. The fund, tasked with paying claims to alleged victims of government prosecution, drew bipartisan pushback, with Democrats casting it as a slush fund for Trump allies. Blanche testified during a congressional hearing last week that the Justice Department is not moving forward with the fund, following pressure from the Republicans and a ruling in a separate lawsuit. So there's another lawsuit which issued a TRO. So why is it that he's not granting a TRO to stop it? Because there's already a TRO stopping it. So out of respect for that first TRO, he's doing nothing. That's why this one is like, don't play possum and pretend it's dead if it's not really dead. He's like, we're not doing anything with it. I'm sure he was talking in good faith. Since then, the government has argued that courts should reject other lawsuits against fund because Blanche has already declared it dead, making the cases moot. So we already have one court dealing with it. It's ridiculous he should deal with it in 7 different jurisdictions. During Wednesday's hearing, Leon sided with the government over the watchdog group Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington, which had filed a lawsuit calling the fund brazenly illegal. I don't know, it's brazenly illegal. I have questions about it. The judge said he has not persuaded a live controversy remains, citing the government's representations the fund is not moving forward. So, yeah, people are calling this a win. It's not a win. It's that the judge is like, well, it's already dead. So if, it's like basically celebrating, a win for Ulysses S. Grant. It's like he's not enjoying it. He ain't enjoying it. He ain't getting nothing out of it. So, in case I don't really see this as a massive win, but I guess it's good he's not facing off in multiple jurisdictions. I think we're a long way from having. I'm a long way from getting my check. I'll just put it that way. I'm a long way from getting my 1776 slush fund check. A long, long, long way. I'm not counting them chickens. Not just yet counting them chickens. All right. Let me see what we got here. Muncie schoolgirls, 71 Muncie schoolgirls lost in Nyack. Wow, okay. A routine school field trip turned into a huge underground emergency. Officials say about 70 girls were removed after exploring the village of Nyack's underground tunnels. On Wednesday, an Orangetown police officer patrolling near Memorial Park in Nyack was told that a large group of young girls was exiting a sewer grate in an alley off of Main Street in the village of Nyack. The young girls are students at Toras Imecha, a religious school based in Muncie, which means the Torah of your mother.
This doesn't make any sense.
What?
Because it says playing possum means you're acting like an opossum, because those are the only ones that fucking play dead. Why would they spell it? This doesn't make any sense. This is some weird idiom of the English language.
No one says playing opossum. I've never heard anyone saying playing
but
opossum.
It's referring to the action of the opossum.
Correct, because
which everyone I know calls a possum.
Even if it's technically a distinction between the Australian animal and the North American animal, we don't recognize that because maybe because there's such similarity in the names, they basically get the opossum is frequently referred to as just possum. So it's been bastardized into being called by the wrong name, where everyone calls it that.
Probably a Democrat did that.
Probably. Police say that 71 students followed a creek and entered a massive drainage culvert which collects the majority of water runoff for the village of Nyack. The group of about 70 teenage girls explored the underground tunnels for nearly a half a mile. They eventually became disoriented and lost in the downtown area, but were able to find a way out on their own. All 71 students and their chaperones were safely accounted for by the police. 2 students sustained minor injuries. 1 student was treated at the scene, and the other was taken to Montefiore Nyack Hospital for treatment for abdominal pain. I think that's probably women's pains, right?
Could be.
Police are asking witnesses to come forward. Anyone with any further information to ask, contact witnesses to what?
And there was a startling discovery at a popular Rockland County restaurant. Dozens of young schoolgirls unexpectedly emerged from a drain in the patio after taking an unauthorized trek underground. Naveen Dhaliwal has this story from Nyack.
What started as an ordinary day for Hudson House restaurant owner Matt Hudson in Nyack quickly turned into something he never expected.
I was in the office when we heard kids chattering. Where is that coming
Hudson House, is that like Waffle House?
Astonishing. Dozens of young...
What?
Is Hudson House like Waffle House?
I don't think so.
I've heard of a Huddle House.
I've never heard of that.
It's down in the South.
Young girls climbing out of a drain where a creek runs under in the courtyard behind his restaurant.
So sure enough, we came back here into the patio, looked here, and it was filling up with kids. They were fine, but they were excitedly talking. They were happy to be getting out of here.
According to Mayor Joe Rand, the girls were part of a school trip visiting Nyack Memorial Park when they entered this massive drainage tunnel, which collects much of the village's stormwater runoff.
So they saw the culvert, they saw the cave, and they thought, let's go take a look, see what's there. And they started walking, and they just kept walking.
The mayor says the group traveled roughly half a mile through the dark culvert on rocks and uneven terrain before safely finding the exit at the restaurant.
Everybody was safe, and I'm so grateful for that. I'm grateful for the first responders. But it was dangerous. They shouldn't have been doing it because it's cloudy now. We could have gotten rain this afternoon, and if it rains, this thing gets much more powerful, and the water could have really picked up on them.
For Hudson, it's a day he won't forget.
We've been here almost 36 years, as I mentioned, and we thought we saw it all, but no, there are still some surprises here.
The mayor says he'll be reviewing safety measures at this culvert site, and he's reminding residents.
We don't have any specific attachment to tunnels. There's no such thing. I don't understand this, okay? I cannot explain it. I don't understand. Diggers, listen to me. I don't understand this. This is just, I disavow any knowledge of anything tunnel related anywhere in Torah. I don't know why.
Was this a Jewish girls'
happening.
School?
Yes.
Oh my God.
That's Orthodox Jews. Those are Orthodox. It's an Orthodox. Those look like Orthodox.
Were they just drawn to the tunnels? I mean, they saw the tunnel and they were
they saw the tunnel and they basically
were like, oh, something inside us just made us. We knew we have to go into the tunnels.
Well, no, we knew we have to go into the tunnels. If you look at it, it looks like a cave. They were they were curious about the cave. It looks like a cave that they're going into. So
maybe thought they would find some more Dead Sea Scrolls in there or something.
Yes, that's what 16-year-old girls are likely doing, looking for Dead Sea Scrolls. I can guarantee you there probably aren't 5 of them who ever heard of the Dead Sea Scrolls, but
I could have really picked up on them.
Think so?
Hudson, it's a day.
We don't talk about to us the Dead Sea Scrolls is like an archaeological. Oh, that's cool. Like it's like that, literally like, oh, that's cool. It's not something we teach our children about the Dead Sea Scrolls. No, it's like, oh, that's interesting. It's like, you know what? It's like, I would, by analogy, I'd call it, if you like Harper's, like Brown's Raid on Harper's Ferry. Yeah, it rings a bell. This is, it's like if you ask most American students, what do you know about that? It's like, oh yeah, there was this thing, I think it's Civil War time, something like that. Some guy Brown, some guy Harper. I don't know what the ferry was doing there.
No, Brown was the ferry. He was very light in the loafers.
Right. So my point is, yeah, I know about it. I know about Brown's raid on Harper's Ferry, and I know about Dead Sea Scrolls. But I have more of an interest in actually learning these things.
Than, aren't they the oldest known writings of like the Torah?
I believe they are the oldest known writings to be in existence today. The reason that we don't focus on them is because it's not an essential part of our foundation of belief in God that we managed to find these scrolls. People 5 years before they found the scrolls believed in God just as fiercely, and the perfection of Torah, and it's in the way it's been handed down from through the generations, just as fiercely as those who found the scrolls themselves. It's not like this, rekindled a belief that our Torah that we have is the same Torah Moses gave us, because it's something that's so foundational, we don't even think about it. Like, I don't think I need a proof to it. It's like, of course it is. Like, how would it have changed? It never could have changed, because no one would have tolerated any change. So of course it's the same. So that's why I don't need some proof of some document, some scroll from 1,000 years ago or 2,000 years ago in order for me to know that it's the same. So that's why it's not that big a deal to us. But OMG sent a link to settle the opossum debate. We should probably settle the opossum debate, because you seem very, very bothered by the fact that I'm obviously completely correct about the opossum situation. So let's see Kimmy's here to help resolve the whole situation. I'll be shocked if I wasn't 1,000% correct in everything I said about it so far, but who knows?
Well, I'm sure if I would have said maybe if the Dead Sea Scrolls were actually Esther's recipe for matzo ball soup, they probably would have known about it.
Probably not, because that too is something that gets passed down mother to daughter. So everyone learns their recipes from their mama. I don't see this link that you're talking about here, Kimmy. You sent a link to settle the debate. I'm looking here in our private chat, and the last thing I see is the Earth Cam. I'm refreshing. No, I don't see it.
Maybe she sent it somewhere else. You do have a Rumble rant too, if you want to pull up.
Thank you. Let's see what we got on Rumble.
I have it if you want to pull up the screen. That's how I work with you. Just share my screen.
Oh, that's so kind of you. All right, we'll do that. Those are the Lost Diggers tribe of, what does that say?
Nitchim?
I don't know what Nitchim is. We lost them when we tried to tunnel Joe's sister's house. That's odd. See, I appreciate you working on that tunnel. But I don't know why I can't find my thing here. Here it is. Now it came through. Okay. Ever notice how some people say opossum? These things are the creepiest things ever. And just the first O just kind of vanishes. It feels odd since the word starts with an O on paper. Technically, the O in opossum is there, but most folks skip it in regular conversation, making it sound like possum. You'll hear this all over the U.S. This is the freakiest looking thing in the world.
Well, that's not a possum you're going to see in the United States. That's the Australian possum.
Like anyone can tell the difference.
I can, because it's not growling and snarling at you.
Yeah, it's not looking to bite your head off. The whole silent, it's so creepy. I was trying to explain to you, by the way, and I got sidetracked. Trying to explain to you why this critter is such a survivor through the ages. So it's got 3 features. Number one,
got 5 fingers.
Well, number one is it can survive on like anything. Number 2 is its defense mechanism of playing dead is something that is repulsive to like all potential predators. They don't want dead. They don't want to eat something dead. So it's like a perfect defense for them that they.
And they smell like they're dead when they're
They
alive.
smell dead. They look dead. They just everything about them just it's like this is a dead creature. So you just when they don't like there's a by instinct their natural predators won't eat them. And it's actually part of their nervous system that when they get scared, they actually play dead. They're not choosing to play dead. When they get frightened too much, that's when they sort of pass out. So, and the third thing about them is that they actually have a forked penis, like a two-pronged penis, which
like a duck. No, a duck's got a corkscrew.
So that forked penis it makes it like very hard for it to change through natural mutation because it just can't reproduce without that. So that's why it's basically, and it's because the female is basically suited to take the forked penis. So
they take it all right.
So yes, they do apparently. Joe, I know about the Jew tunnels in New York City. Now you're hiding your young girls in sewer tunnels. It's all about Iran, Netanyahu. He knows how it was. I can guarantee you, by the way, I can positive that story could have accurately been framed as 71 virgins. So that's why it's pretty funny. That's where I thought it was going. I was like, we're talking tunnels, 71 girls. I'm like, this is not going to be a good story. Yeah, thank you. We picked up on it. So, wait, I was supposed to be reading this possum thing that she shared. The whole soft O thing goes way back. Native American language gave us the word, and over time, people changed how they said it before anyone bothered to update the spelling. So if you say opossum, pronounce the O, or just possum, you're not wrong either way. Both are totally accepted. I wonder why it sounds like that. There's a little story behind it. If you heard people debate whether the O is really silent, you're definitely not alone. Different places and sources have their own take, but knowing a bit of history helps make sense of it. Oh my gosh. We're going to have video even? That's the freakiest thing in the world. And like they're all over my neighborhood, like all over, and I can't stand these things.
They eat ticks, though, so that's a good thing.
But they don't look. This thing here with this mouth open does not look like it just eats ticks. This looks like something which would happily attack me. It's just not.
You get it cornered.
They're just like they look like, and they have these rat tails. They're disgusting. People say the O in opossum is silent because that's just how it sounds when they talk. That comes to the word origins, how it rolls out tongue, and even which country you're in. You hear folks say opossum or just possum when they drop the first O. It really does seem silent. In America, that's especially common in casual conversations, since some dictionaries insist you should pronounce the O, but honestly, most people don't bother. That's why possum pops up everywhere instead of opossum, but both work, but possum just feels easier. People stick with possum because it's simple. Two words sound so close that it's no wonder the O gets ignored. It's like I'm getting a homework assignment. I feel like this is exactly like the book reports I would write when I was in 7th grade. I'm not kidding. This literally is, I almost feel as if it's lifting it from something I wrote.
So this is saying it came from the Algonquin Native American word, which meant white animal or white dog. Then why do they call the one in Australia possum?
Maybe because it looked like an opossum.
And so somebody just dropped the O and went there and named that after they.
Here we go. In the U.S. So anyway, the spelling kept the O. People just say it just drifted. So you see the letter, but might not hear it much. In the U.S., people usually say possum, leave out the O. Here, opossum means a specific North American animal. In Australia and New Zealand, possum points to different animals. Aussies almost never pronounce the O. These regional quirks make things confusing sometimes, but U.S. people often drop the O in regular speech. You can say it either way and folks will get what you mean. You want to know more? I really feel like I know too much already. I feel like I really know way too much already. So...
Well, just say Jim was right and I'm wrong.
There was absolutely nothing I said here that was remotely inaccurate. Like this was like a total score for me. I'm sorry. I gotta be real with you.
I think this is just like your take on dark matter.
When did I have a take on dark matter? What?
Joke.
I'm so confused. Joe, are you saying that a possum is a Democrat? Yes. This is very funny because I live in a downtown area in Central California. I've got an opossum in my backyard right now. Dogs are barking. They're freaky disgusting. They're disgusting. Let me tell you something. Whenever I hear stories about, like, you know, down south, Midwest, where, you know, kids go out with the guns and basically taking pot shots at animals, to me, I always thought that was, like, you know, kind of boorish. But if it's possums, anything we can do to rid the earth.
What did you just say?
Possums.
Okay. See, I was right. You didn't say opossum.
Yeah, but I'm talking about. I in my brain I was spelling a P-O. I was spelling a P-O-S-S-U-M.
So you're talking. You've been to Australia and you've seen their animals in Australia. This is the point I'm making.
And my point is that we call them by the same thing. No one have you ever heard anyone say playing a possum?
No.
Why not?
He always silent.
Okay.
I win.
I got a possum in my backyard right now. Dogs are barking. I feel for you, and frankly, you know, you should teach a lesson. Don't just kill it. Like use its scalp to scare off the other other possums. Man.
You want to get this thing, especially with the stuff they're trying. The government putting Lyme disease into ticks, and now they're putting this other stuff in it to make you not eat meat.
Government put Lyme disease in ticks.
Yes, Lyme disease was invented in Plum Island. I didn't make it up, dude.
I never heard that before. All right, I need to start landing my plane. A possum's really a sweetheart. It's got one as a pet. Okay. I can't.
I'm so sorry, Joe. I thought the people would come through for me. We didn't tell them that if you didn't hit the goal tonight that I was getting fired, because Cynic clearly is better at taking money. You reduced it 50% to get the goal made, and you still Cynic is still 50% better than me.
I didn't want to tell them because I didn't think I'd be fair to Cynic, you know. But look, it was really great knowing you.
It was
great. You know, I like that we were able to form some sort of friendship.
That's fine. You know, it is what it is. You got to go where the money is. Cynic brings the money.
It's not you, it's me.
I know.
It's not you, it's me. I'm trying to find this on point to this. I remember seeing something in the last day or two. I just want to. Let me see if I can find it really fast.
Have you ever heard of possum pie?
Okay, just stop, because now you're trying to make me hurl. What the hell is possum pie?
It's like a meat pie with possum meat.
Oh, God. Oh. Why?
I don't know.
What does possum meat taste like?
Possum?
I've
never eaten it. I know people make it. People eat squirrels too, and people eat raccoon.
I know. I was talking to Sin about it. Sin has eaten all these things.
I know.
He's ingested all of these things. Yeah, we don't touch any of that stuff. None of that stuff is kosher.
It's not kosher at all.
Rodents are not kosher, so we don't need that. But anyway, oh wait, I got this at the end here. A really sweet. That one's a pet. Soldier of Tony from Rhode Island, Providence. I'm going hunting my coon hound wearing coonskin hat. What animal am I hunting?
Democrats?
Nice. Nice. I knew it was a riddle. The one thing I knew it wasn't was Coons. V-Sing says it's Japanese, so it's in Japanese, so reads right to left. Another interesting coincidence. What's in Japanese? Oh, sorry. He first said, Joe, it's like the Junji Ito thing. This is my hole. It was made for me. Search Google for that phrase. Load imager. What? Gallery. Junji Ito.
Says it's in Japanese, so read right to left.
People give me these hard things to do.
He's just saying, just check your DMs.
Yeah, see, that makes it much easier. If you DM me, it's much easier. All right, here it is. The Enigma of Amagara Fault. Oh, good. Because when I'm landing my plane, I really want to go through a 323-page comic book. That's what I was hoping. I was worried that I was going to run out of content to fill up the last 45 seconds of my show. Unfortunately, V-Sync just comes to the rescue here with a 323-page comic book for me to just, quickly peruse to come to the one still picture image of a stupid possum that I'm supposed to bring up. Or is it about girls lost in the cave? I don't even know. Or maybe it's girls lost in the cave. They're all going to the cave.
They're being called to the cave.
Maybe it's girls.
Sounds of silence.
Maybe it's girls lost in the cave and finding possums. I don't know what's happening here.
Oh, they're all there. All the girls.
I don't know.
It's why they went to the cave because of the milkshake. The milkshake brings all the girls to the yard.
I can't. I don't even know what people expect. Thank you so much, V-Sync. Thank you. Everyone comes in the last minute and they're all excited to basically, just derail everything. Like I'm sitting here for like the last hour just trying to figure out where am I going, and tired beyond belief. And last minute, everyone just pops on in here.
I have important news.
Of course you do.
Share my screen. Greg Bavino follows me on X. So he's going to take my word.
Wow.
So all you illegal aliens better watch out. Jim's looking for you. And I'm going to tell Greg.
What is he doing these days?
I don't know.
Good for you. Well done. Well done indeed. Greg Bavino following you. Yeah. Excellent.
Follow me, follow you.
That's very exciting. When someone who you've heard of follows you, I know you get like a bit of a rush. I know. It's a nice feeling.
Well, it was a big rush like a couple weeks ago when he was like tweeted out and like quote tweeted my live stream when I was talking about him, and it was like he was in the title, and so he quote tweeted it out like, "Oh, this is," like all of a sudden, like, dude, whoa, thank you.
There you go. Look at that.
Yeah.
This guy's making waves. Make sure you're following Jim Tells You, because he's making waves. He's an up and coming, insightful rodent hunting podcaster. He's really good at what he does. So please make sure you sign up to him. It's a shame that I'm never going to be able to see you again.
It's terrible, but I'll get over it.
We'll write.
I'll move on to bigger and better things. I've already
Greg Bavino.
I've already got some feelers out for some other channels. I don't want to say anything, but Tim Pool has reached out.
Obviously. Yeah, I'm sure this. You could pretty much throw a dart at a barn and find someone who's probably gonna do more to help you than I ever could. So,
but, I'm kind of
throw your darts.
I've kind of become accustomed to having being on with a man with a Hebrew background. So I'm kind of leaning towards Gruber.
No, there you go. There you go. No, Gruber. I can actually see. I can see you vibing. I can see that totally. Yeah, or Viva. You know, I hear he's looking for a replacement.
Oh, I could take Barnes' place.
I'm totally making.
I know.
I don't want to spend. I don't want to spend.
Everything I have said the last 10 minutes has been baloney.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going anywhere. You can't get rid of me.
Oh,
you can't quit me.
Oh, all right. So there you go. I guess he's back next week. I thank you all for joining me. God bless you. Make sure you have a phenomenal weekend. Sign up to Jim Tells You and stay away from lab meat. It's never meant for you. It's meant for they, them. It's those people who sometimes they call themselves furries because they like rodents or something like that. And do not eat the bugs. Don't do it. Have a good night, everyone. And as always, Godspeed.